So you want to talk about our first road trip for video?
What about it? We did some crazy shit.
What year was it?
2016.
So 2016, me and you got in your truck?
Yeah.
Your truck. What was it? It was like a...
Ford F-150 FX4.
Not the best thing to take on a road trip. 2010. So not the best thing to take on a road trip as far as gas, but it was better than taking... What was I driving? The truck? Oh, I was driving my truck. I was driving the Nissan at the time. So I had a 92 Nissan with like no AC, a 4-cylinder stick shift with no cruise control either. So
no cruise control. Barely enough room for your two grown-ass men to sit in the vehicle next to each other.
Yeah, it would have been hot. It would have been long.
Loud. No power steering.
Nothing.
So at the time, my truck was the vehicle to take.
Yeah, for sure. So we went. Where did we get our first road trip? We left Memphis
and went to right outside Colorado Springs to see Big Daddy.
Okay, so my granddad on my stepmom's side. And this is in 2016. So what? We decided to make the drive in one day. It was going to be an 18-hour drive. Had some concerns about making that kind of drive.
Yeah.
I figured if I was going to be in a car with someone for 18 hours, no matter who the person was, I was not going to like them.
At the end of it.
At the end of the 18 hours, I didn't think I was going to like you. Well, we left like 6 in the morning.
Like 5.
Like 5 in the morning Memphis time. And on the way there, did we rush? Did we try to go as long as we could? What was kind of the game plan?
We set cruise control about 85 because we both have lead foots and we both like to go fast. And we stopped every 3 to 4 hours, which came out to be about half a tank of gas. We'd fill up, we'd get out, walk around a little bit, switch driving, and keep on rolling.
All right. So about an hour outside of Colorado Springs, we rolled through Denver?
No, that was going through Colorado Springs.
So yeah, we were going to Manitou Springs and up to the mountain. So okay, so coming into Colorado Springs, we were an hour outside of getting to our destination.
Yep.
That last hour, I feel like, when we rolled in and we saw the lights, because we were driving in pitch black for hours. When we rolled into all the lights, it was kind of like a rejuvenation. Like, yeah, we did it. We just freaking did it. We just drove. Rolling
windows down, heat on, because it was like 50 degrees, and for us that's, kind of cold during the summer.
And we came from what, like 100 degrees?
Yeah.
100 degrees, or maybe like 80 degrees at night, but 50 degrees at night?
Yeah.
Unheard of.
We were, windows down, heat on, hoodies on. Logan was driving, and the roads were back and forth and curves, and so he knew which lane to be in. I was looking at our GPS, looking ahead at the road, telling him which lane to be in, so he could take the inside, so he could keep going fast.
It was awesome. We didn't really run out of anything to talk about. I don't think I discovered podcasts yet. No podcasts. It was just music and talking.
And debating. About random shit for hours on end. And whoever was who wasn't driving would, if we got to the point where we needed to look up facts, whoever wasn't driving would look up facts for both sides, inform the driver of his side, and then we'd keep debating.
Yeah. It's fun. So in Colorado, we spent, what, like 3 or 4 days there?
5 days.
5 days? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So, Dad and Jamie were there.
Yeah. Dad, Jamie, Big Daddy. And,
yeah, so all the family was there. We basically hung out with them. I know we did Pikes Peak.
We did this scenic loop around Colorado Springs. It took about 4 hours. Or, well, should have taken about 4 hours just driving. But, because Big Daddy, every time we come across a gas station, hey, pull in here. He'd go get his coffee drink. So it ended up taking us about 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah.
We did Garden of the Gods.
Oh, I forgot about Garden of the Gods. Yeah. That was with the big rock we sat under, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we went into just outside of Manitou Springs into the bottom of the mountain place.
Oh, with all the old Indian stuff?
Yeah, with like the little strip.
Yeah.
The whole like downtown strip thing.
Oh, no. Okay, I think that was Manitou Springs.
Oh. So we went there, and we spent almost the full afternoon there getting some bison burgers and playing pool.
Yeah. And did you know that alcohol hits you harder at higher elevation?
Yeah, it does.
Did not know that. Interesting facts there. Bison burgers, pool.
And then we just kind of walked around.
Yeah.
Just to blow time.
We did we do any hiking?
No.
No, we didn't do any hiking.
We weren't quite at the let's go do crazy backcountry shit yet.
Yeah.
Like we've done backcountry stuff before, but that hadn't been our main focus at that point in time.
So what? We just did Pikes Peak and hung out in Colorado and on the mountain for a few days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did go to Colorado Springs to go to the dispensary.
Did we? I don't remember that.
We went and looked at it.
So after Colorado, we left and we went to Vegas. Vegas was next. Which, how long of a drive was it from Colorado to Vegas?
12.5 hours.
Another 12-hour drive. We got to go up and over the mountains. And we got up to like 10,000, 11,000 feet or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
On the drive. And then all the way down to the deserts. So we went from like 50 degrees, like 120 degrees or something crazy.
Yeah. Vegas was 116. Almost every day we were there.
Yeah, like it was crazy. So what about Vegas was fun? Me personally, I did not like Vegas is not my town because I feel like Vegas is you gotta have money to have fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel it is. The only reason that I think we had fun is because we stayed at the Hostel Cat. We stayed there, and they were all about having a good time cheaply.
Yeah.
So with them, we got to hang out with they had a big party spot in between all like the little 6-bedroom hostels outside, or 6-bedroom like huts outside that were air conditioned and stuff. And we partied out there a lot. They snuck us into a pool party at one point.
Monte Carlo.
The Monte Carlo. So it was like a $50 buy-in ticket. Women get in for free, but if you're a man, it's $50. The hostel
if you were a Monte Carlo patron,
yes.
If you were walking off the street, it was a $100 buy-in.
$100 buy-in.
And the hostel snuck us in for what was it, like 20 bucks for cover gas?
I think it was less than that, because I don't think we would have spent 20 bucks on it. I think it was like 10 bucks. Because we've decided not to do things for 20 bucks for both of us.
Yeah.
So they drove us over there. And how did we sneak in? Do you remember how it happened?
They go, girls come with us. They took the girls in. They walked them in through the front, no issue. And they said, guys, hang here. And the hostel guy came back and said, all right, anybody over 21, this is going to be easy. Anybody not 21 will be a little more difficult.
And who was the only person that wasn't 21?
I was the only one that wasn't 21. So he takes all the guys that are 21 and says, all right, you're going to go to the bar. You're going to buy a beer. You're going to get it in a cup or an aluminum so you can go out to the pool with it. Make sure to tip the bartender, but don't tip so much that you're noticing. And then, after you get your beer, look out the sliding glass doors and see if there's a guy in a yellow shirt. If a guy in a yellow shirt's there, don't go to it. But once he walks away, walk in, act like you know what you're doing, grab a towel, go find a spot to sit. And then, so everybody that was 21 goes and does that. I'm still just standing there talking to the guy at the hostel, from the hostel. And we go, he says, all right, let's go stand at a table for a minute and start watching some sports. At the time, I think the Olympics were on.
Oh yeah, they were, weren't they?
So me and the guy from the hostel, we're sitting there watching the Olympic games, summer games, and he's got me with my back to the sliding glass doors, and he's watching the doors. And as soon as the guy in the yellow shirt, so the security, as soon as he walks away from the door, he says, go, 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 go. So I just go straight through the door, grab a towel, and go find a spot to sit and wait for everybody else to meet up with everybody else from the hostel. and it was one hell of a pool party. They were serving shots poolside in the wave pool. Then we also found.
So my favorite part about that was when we all finally got in and finally got hooked up with each other. Like, we were sharing like sunscreen and stuff, making sure everybody was safe and cool. That's the coolest thing about hostels. No one knows anybody, so everyone's in it together. So
but they act like they've been friends forever.
But you act like you've been friends forever, and you move as a unit. So we found all these coupons underneath the chair, like a stack of coupons. It was like, buy 2 beers, get 1 beer free. Simple, right? We don't have that much money and the beers are expensive, so we just start giving them to other people around us because we're not going to be able to use all these coupons. So you give someone like 3 or 4 coupons, they give you a free beer. So we ended up getting beer after beer after beer after beer free. I bought the first beer waiting. I may have used a coupon to buy us a beer.
I think we spent total on beer that day was like $15.
But after I used the first coupon, I don't think I actually bought another beer.
Because you bought your first beer to get in, and then you bought a round for us.
Yes.
And then I bought a round. And then after that, we didn't buy any more beer. Because
people would just kept giving us
everybody
beer.
That we gave coupons to, they give us their free beer.
And then the shot by the poolside.
Shots poolside in the wave pool.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then the hostel dude took us back whenever we were ready to go.
Yeah, that was a long ride. It was only like 5 miles.
Yeah, no AC, drunk in the middle of the day.
I think we were all lit by like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
And then isn't that the night they were like taking everybody out to the club?
Yeah.
Talk about booting and rallying. That was pretty cool. They put like real cheap vodka in like Coke bottles. They had like a party bus, and then took everybody that wanted to go out to the to some fancy club inside a casino.
That again was 21 and up.
It was 21 and up. It was 21 and up. But it was an eye opener for a small town Southern man like myself to walk into a Vegas club with bachelorette parties going everywhere, bottles with sparklers walking past you. It was intense. The beers were like $10 a beer.
Yeah.
And I was out real quick. Yeah. And then just got like an Uber back to the hostel. It was cool. What else did we do in Vegas? We gambled once.
We put $1 into a slot machine.
Yes.
We won $2.
Okay.
Then we spent another the $2.
Yeah.
We lost that $1, so we pulled our $1 back out.
That was it.
And then we're like, you know what, screw it. It's just $1. We're in Vegas.
Okay.
We put the $1 back in, and we lost $1, so we said we were done gambling. But we did gamble in Vegas.
We did gamble. We gambled a total of $3 and lost $8.
Yep.
Not a big gambler though. So what else did we do in Vegas?
We went to a art festival.
Oh, that's right. Oh, in Frenchman Street.
You went.
I went to Frenchman Street. You did. That was
the first night, and I was done. I just went to sleep.
You went to sleep, and I went out to Frenchman Street.
Yeah.
Which was super cool. Which is old Vegas, with the whole like hologram or electronic display above you. And we went to a gaming thing where they had a big big games, outdoor games, kind of like Laughlin Yard. Big, huge, like soccer. They had shuffleboard, which for some reason shuffleboard was the thing to play. Big, huge Jenga, all the outdoor games, right? But you didn't go. What was Art Festival?
The Art Festival was the second night, I believe.
Okay.
And then they went out to clubs. We didn't go the second night.
No.
The third night, or the third day, was the pool party, and then clubs again, fancy clubs. Logan went to the fancy clubs. I stayed back because I couldn't go because I wasn't 21 at the time. But I just hung back and partied up with all the other people that stayed back at the hostel for various reasons, either being they weren't 21 or they had other things they planned on doing. I think I ended up having a better time.
Yeah. Club was eye-opening though. Just not as fun.
That was pretty much all we did in Vegas.
Yeah, we didn't get too crazy.
And then from there we did Hoover Dam.
So we left Vegas and went to Hoover Dam. Now Vegas was as far as we went west, right?
Yeah.
So then Hoover Dam was on the way back.
Yeah. So we went and did the Hoover Dam since we were right there at it. But it was 116 degrees outside, and the truck couldn't. The AC in the truck wasn't cool, and we're like, screw this! It's the heat of the day. We got to find something to get out of the heat. So we ended up going to see Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. It was so hot. It was so hot outside. It was miserable. It was so hot at the Hoover Dam, it felt like there was a hairdryer blowing on your face to where it hurt your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like your eyeballs hurt from how hot the air was.
And then we did, so we did the Hoover Dam, we came back towards Vegas, went to a movie theater. After the movie theater, it was past the heat of the day, and then we drove to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's, oh yeah, okay, so that's why we got to the Grand Canyon so late.
Yeah.
So we drove up to the Grand Canyon and we were like, there's a little town before you get on the highway into the Grand Canyon. And we're like, should we stop and get gas here? I think we did that night.
No,
we didn't that night.
Because we were a little over half a tank at that point. But we did stop at the gas station and get some food because that was dinner.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We ate in the restaurant?
Yeah. So there's a little diner.
So then we actually drove into the Grand Canyon. And we're like, we're just going to find a camping spot in here. We'll just camp at one of these camping spots. And as we're going toward the Grand Canyon, you've got a lot of private campgrounds. And each one that we got to was like no vacancy, no vacancy, no vacancy. And then
so we're like, all right, we know the Grand Canyon has camping spots.
Yeah.
So that was was what we were betting on.
Our last ditch effort.
I wouldn't say last ditch effort.
No, you're right. So we got to the Grand Canyon and
there's before we even see a sign for no vacancy, and we see a sign of how much it's going to cost us to go in.
Just to go in.
And it was like $30 for a vehicle to get in, for a day or a week. There was no in between.
Yeah.
And then we saw no vacancy and we're like, fuck this. So we turned around, we drove back to a service road we found.
Yeah, so we turned around at the gate and turned off onto a gravel road that we didn't know where it went.
And we took that about a mile off into the woods and parked next to some Forest Service forestry equipment.
Yeah, so the wheels were bigger than the truck. It was awesome. And then we just did what? We just slept there that night.
We slept there that night, or we took a nap because we woke up. We wanted to go see the sunrise.
The sunrise from the Grand Canyon.
Over the Grand Canyon.
So what time? So we got to the Grand Canyon and find no vacancy. Like what? Like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I was gonna say like 11:30 midnight.
Because we didn't get to actually park the truck till midnight 1, right?
Yeah.
So we parked the truck then, and we're like, oh, we're gonna go watch the sunrise. What time does the sunrise happen?
We looked it up and it was like 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning. So we had to wake up early enough to get into the Grand Canyon
to see the sunrise.
Hopefully before people showed up. And that's what ended up happening. We got there and there's nobody at the guard shack. It was open.
So we just drove through.
We just rode in.
We didn't pay for it. We just went straight into the Grand Canyon, or to the national park.
And then it was about 5 minutes from the gate to the actual canyon. We went in, we parked, we watched the sun come up. We did a little, I wouldn't even say hike because it was only like 20 minutes and it was right there at the parking lot. But
yeah, just went down to the edge of what, the North Rim?
Yeah. North Rim. And then from there, we went to the actual campground. They had a shower facility, so we took a shower. We reorganized the truck because at this point we'd been a week on the road, just had a week on the road, and so we wanted to reorganize the truck, get everything cleaned out.
We spent a few good hours there.
And at this point, we're hungry. We hadn't had breakfast yet, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. So we go find a picnic table. We cooked some breakfast. I don't even remember what we had, but it was probably some like
bacon and eggs or something.
Eggs and probably smoked sausage.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines, because we aren't we didn't really plan that much for really eating like that, but we had, you know, snack foods and stuff to get us by if we got stranded on the road. And then we just kind of rolled out, and there was a gas station at the national park. I was like, hey man, where's our gas light? Because Logan was driving out, and he was like, oh, we're right at half a tank. We'll get gas back there at that other gas station.
Yeah, it should be good.
Well, the gas station in the park we thought was going to be too expensive, and it was probably $2.40 for gas. Well, we get back to that gas station that's probably 40-50 miles outside of the Grand Canyon, would you say, roughly?
Yeah.
We get there, and there was a tenant at the pump. Goes, hey, you want us to pump your gas for you? And we're like, no, hold on, how much is this going to be?
Yeah.
And it was like $2.75.
It's a lot.
And I was like, man, we're at half a tank, we should get gas. Logan's like, nah, we're not doing that. That's insulting.
We're not paying that kind of money.
So we get to driving. An hour goes by, no gas station. 2 hours goes by, no gas station.
And we're in like Death Valley. That's what it feels like. It feels like Death Valley.
We're watching, I'm sitting in the passenger seat just watching the gas gauge go lower and lower.
Got under a quarter.
And still no gas stations anywhere. Trying to look it up on GPS, nothing close. And we come off this plateau.
I don't even think the phones were working at that point.
I don't remember.
I think it was literally just us sitting on the highway, just oh god, oh god,
and
oh god.
We come off this plateau into a lower area, and nothing except for a gas station.
Oh yeah, there's nothing anywhere.
And we still ended up paying like $2.45 for gas.
Yeah, but at that point we were so in need. It was like
we could
I'll pay anything. I'll pay anything.
We could not get
I'll
gas.
I'll pay $4 a gallon. I mean, we need it.
Yeah.
It was an eye opener. You know, we learned from that mistake. All right, so we got our gas.
Yeah, got the gas.
And we're headed. Where are we headed?
We were headed to Flagstaff, but we took the longest way possible because we were told we should check out the Painted Desert.
The Painted Desert, another national park, by the way.
Which we were told it's really cool. You just drive through, and we're like, all right, we can do that. And we get there, and it's $40 to get in. And at this point, we were like 2.5, 3 hours out of the way of where we were going. And now we're kind of pissed because we aren't paying to go in.
I just went the wrong way.
And so we turned back around and went to Flagstaff to catch up with a buddy of mine from my Knowles trip.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
And we almost ran out of gas there too because we were in on a native reservation, and all the gas stations had shut down. So we almost ran out of gas there too.
Yeah, we were going through legit Native American land.
And all the gas stations
it was like a ghost town. It was literally nothing to do out there.
Yeah.
Everything was broke, everything was busted, everything was just shut down except for a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. That was actually pretty good Chinese. Yeah. It was a buffet too.
In the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Indian country. That was pretty cool.
Well, then we finally made it to Flagstaff. We hung out with my buddy for the night. Had some good drinks, good food, good conversation.
He was from
Romania.
Romania. And he had brought back some palinka, which is their cherries, I believe, but they make it in the moonshine.
He brought back Romanian moonshine, straight white lightning version, and a cherry version. And the cherry was delicious.
It was all very good.
Honestly, some of the best straight shine I've had too.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then from there, we were going to go to, our original plan was to stay in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
So we could go to the Nuclear Science Museum, but we decided that.
Oh, no. So we didn't stay in Albuquerque because there wasn't any hostels.
Yeah.
Right?
There
you go.
So we decided we were just gonna stop there and check out the museum and then keep rolling to Roswell,
New Mexico. Now, I like to know where I'm staying about 3 days in advance. So as we're looking at going to Roswell instead of Albuquerque because there's no hostels, I had heard about what was it? Couch surfer. And basically, you ask people to, hey, can I stay on your couch? There was a lady in Roswell, New Mexico that was letting people stay on her couch. And I asked Ben, I said, hey Ben, how do you feel about us trying this out? It'd be free if it works. He goes, yeah, sure, why not? Because what's the downside? We have to stay in the car again? Oh well. So it took all of the 3 days before we got there to actually get her to respond. When she responded, it was like us rolling in through Roswell, finding out where she lived. It was like right on the hair. When we rolled up to this woman's house in the middle of nowhere, first,
he says, we're going to be staying in Roswell. All right, cool. We drive into Roswell. We drive through Roswell. And now we're on the outside, the other side of Roswell. We're not even in Roswell anymore, technically. And I'm looking at Logan and asking him questions like, where the hell do you have us going? So go ahead.
So, I didn't actually know where we were going. We pulled up, and when we saw the house, it was a house in the middle of nowhere, no neighbors, on gravel roads. There was a windmill attached to the house. There's burn piles all in like the front yard, like 5 or 6 different burn piles. There is chickens and goats running all over the place, and there's llamas in the backyard. There's like sheds out in the front yard as well with, you know, old cars and motorcycles and stuff everywhere. We pulled up, backed in, and I sat there and I looked at him. I said, Ben, is this something that we actually want to do? We don't have to stay here. And as we're having this conversation, the lady who owns it pulled up on a motorcycle with a pickup truck following her. She pulled up, takes off her helmet, and her hair just flies out. She goes, y'all the people from Memphis? Yes, ma'am, we are. She goes, all right, y'all come help and feed the llamas.
Feed all the animals.
Yeah, feed all the animals. So there's this
and
couple.
Get to know each other.
Yeah, and get to know each other. There's this couple in the pickup truck, and they were cool. There was a British couple that was traveling the States.
Yeah, doing Workaway, which is where you go on app or website, and they you find these different people that have you do different random chores for them for a place to crash and like a meal.
So they were
it's a great way to travel cheap and see a lot.
Yeah, and they were really cool.
So, and their chores was to feed the animals in the morning and feed them at night, and they were given like a 3-hour window in the morning and in the afternoon to feed the animals, and the rest of the day was theirs.
Yeah, and they got free food out of it and a free place to stay.
And it was like, what, 30 minutes to feed all the animals?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. But you had to do like weird things with like the llamas. You had to make sure one didn't get the other's food. You had to, I mean, there's some weird things that you had to learn, and that's why I think she was doing it. So we helped them feed everything. We go inside, and Ben and I's idea of staying somewhere is, you know, I think we didn't make them dinner. I think we'd already ate. But let's play cards, get to know each other. Let's bring in some drinks. Let's have a good time. The lady doesn't drink. And apparently there's supposed to be some other people staying there that night, some French people that are on a road trip. So we're not really gonna figure out sleeping spots till they get here because they asked first.
Yeah.
Right? So we bring out the drinks, we're playing some cards, getting to know each other, everyone's cool, everyone's having a good time. Then the French people get there, and it's a couple and an extra guy. The extra guy was so over the couple, immediately you could tell.
And he immediately came over and joined us, and it was like a breath of fresh air to hang out with people other than this couple.
And eventually, as the night wore on, the lady's like, I'm going to bed. We're like, okay, well, where are you staying? She stayed up in the loft with no door, no walls above where everybody was playing cards and having a good time.
So we were like, do we need to quiet down, or what's the deal? This is your place. It's like, no, y'all have fun. Don't have to worry about me.
That's kind of weird.
Okay.
That's weird to me. I mean, it's weird for a single woman in her like 60s to sleep open to the rest of the house of people that she just met tonight. That's odd to me. But she goes, hey, there's a pull-out couch, an extra room, and then a couch. And us two, and the Frenchies are just sitting there looking at each other. I go, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. You couple, you get the room. Me and Ben will sleep together in the pull-out couch, and then you, other guy, get the couch. Is everyone okay with that? And I was like, yeah, perfect, great plan. We got the couches pulled out and everything, and then we kept drinking and kept drinking and kept drinking. Okay, we found out from the British couple that there's an abandoned missile silo.
No, the lady told us about it.
Oh, the lady told them
about
our
original plan was to go to the
alien museum.
UFO museum.
Yeah. Well, there's an abandoned missile silo like 10, 12 miles up the road, and we need to go check it out. High schoolers go check it out. This old woman's going to check it out. If she can do it, we can do it. But
she said it's the like rite of passage for the high school students.
Yeah.
Is to go down to the bottom and graffiti their name on it.
Like we should be able to do this. Well, drunk and everything, yeah, we're gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna do it tomorrow, okay? And we drank well into the night and then passed out.
And then I kept drinking the British guy under the table.
Yeah, you said I went to bed at one point. I just passed out. Next morning we wake up and we're all feeling it. All feeling it. All feeling it hard. But we said we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I think we were rolling out later that day, right?
Yeah.
So
our original plan was we'll go do the missile silo. If we got time, we'll do the UFO museum. But the UFO museum kind of took a back burner because it's a museum and we could go look at a abandoned missile silo.
Yeah, like
so it was like a no-brainer.
The Cold War Atlas missile silo decommissioned, right?
Yeah.
It's time to go see it. Man, that was one of the coolest things we've ever done, I'll be honest.
So we were told you can't miss it. There's two big blast doors open in the middle of the desert. So we're driving down the highway and we see them, and you literally just pull off the highway onto the desert. You park your vehicle, jump a fence, and then go up to the big blast doors that were open, had a fence around them, and then there was this closet that was in the middle of the desert, and you had to go up to the closet and open this big blast door, and then you just walk into the missile silo.
And they had ripped out all the mechanics, everything like that. They had cut, it was like what, 150 feet down to the bottom?
160 something foot to the bottom.
And the first like 4 stories had floors where they could like come up and I guess work on the rocket. The beams were I guess touching the rocket at the time that it was actually working, and they had just cut it all off. So all this stuff is not supported and very
rickety, rusty,
oh, and there's rust on everything at the top layer. As you go down layers, the rust from the top starts falling down. So each level you go down, there's like inches and inches and inches of just rust on top of this stuff. And eventually we just got down to the like utility ladders.
So at first it was spiral staircasing. Oh, we forgot one part. Before we get there, the lady whose house we were staying at, she goes, last I heard, there's barn owls there. So just keep an eye out for the barn owls. And we're like, oh, barn owls, no big deal. It's just, it's a bird.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we walk in, and before you get to the actual silo where the missile is, you go through a couple little hallways and down a few stairs. Well, as soon as we walk into the area where the actual silo is and where the missile was, this huge barn owl comes flying at us, wings out, talons at us, squawking at us, because apparently there's a nest there and we were too close to it. And barn owls are pretty big birds, but you don't realize how big they are until they're coming at you pissed off.
It was legit.
So we go down the spiral staircasing. There's probably 5 or 6 stories of that, and then you get to utility ladders. And to get to the ladder, after the last spiral staircase, you have to step out over a railing, over nothing. No floor, it's just straight drop. You step out around that railing and then come back in, and then you're at the utility ladders. And then it's another 5, 6 stories of utility ladders you have to go down. And then you hit the bottom where the missile actually sat, and then there's another set of ladders that you can go down to where there's space for if they'd actually launched the missile for the blast to go out a tunnel. And the tunnel was there, and you could access the tunnel, but it was filled with water and just random debris to keep people from following the blast tunnel. Then we just kind of hung out down there. We came back up, did a little photo op in some precarious spots.
Yeah, we got out there over nothingness, which was fun.
On a, what was it, 8-inch, 10-inch steel I-beam?
Yeah, it was not one of the smartest things I've done.
And then
cool.
we wondered how long it would take for something to reach the bottom. So we found a roll of barbed wire, and we threw it off the from the top, and you just heard it pick up speed, and then crash at the bottom. That was pretty cool.
It was one of the most unique things I've done
Up to that point in a long time.
Like, you just, apparently it's a thing to go find these old missile silos, but that was the first one I'd even heard about. And we got to climb all up in it and see everything.
See, the other wildlife that was there were bats. But yeah, those were pretty cool to see, but you can see those.
So after the missile silo, we said bye to the British couple, right?
And offered them to come stay with us in Memphis, because they were the only people that we've met on that road trip that were going west coast to east coast, because everybody else we talked to was doing east coast to west coast, and they'd already gone through Memphis. So we offered to let them stay with us free of charge and come hang out, and we'd be basically a tour guide.
Yeah, if they wanted it.
If they wanted. And they took us up on the offer, but they were still, what, a month out from Memphis?
So after the missile silo thing, where'd we go? I think we were getting close to the end, really.
Yeah, we were. We went to, our options from Roswell were we were going back to Memphis, and that was going to end up being like a 16-hour ride. So we cut it, and we had several days left, so we cut it in half and did an 8-hour drive to Dallas. And we stayed with my aunt in Dallas, and when we got there, they came and welcomed us at the front door, and they had beers ready for us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Drank, hung out with them. Then the next day we got up, and we still had a couple days left, and we heard about a meteor shower that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we got time. We can go find somewhere away from everybody and try to see it. So we go to Lake Ouachita, which was it an 8-hour drive from Dallas?
Yeah, it was actually a good drive. It was a good long day that we didn't want to keep going into Memphis.
So we stopped at Lake Ouachita, went to a childhood campground that I'd been to hundreds of times, and ended up staying up drinking. I think we saw 1 or 2 meteors, but the peak of it didn't actually start until like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we ended up completely missing the peak of the meteor shower. And
the coolest part about that was all the weirdos at the campgrounds.
Yeah.
It was like we were hanging out at our campsite after we had like swam a little bit, tried to see some meteors, and then someone came up to us and was like, hey, you know, we got our car on here because the kids were getting too hot and we wanted to get a little frisky.
The car's not going to bother you, is it?
Yeah, the car's not going to bother you. But they were weird. They're saying weird things about getting frisky and whatnot. I was like, no, that's cool, man. And they told the people that was
right across from us,
like 20 yards away. And then we went over there to them like, hey, was that not weird to y'all? They're like, oh yeah, that was so weird. We heard them like getting down earlier. I was like, oh, okay. Because yeah, I think that's why the kids are in the car. Okay, cool. So we ended up hanging out with this other couple who was like a nurse and something else from somewhere. And it was just such a cool experience getting to hang out with random people. After that, we didn't, we
woke up the next day. We went to sleep. We woke up, got about 30, 45 minutes onto the road, And then we stopped at Waffle House for breakfast, and then we rolled into town.
Yeah.
We were only from Lake Ouachita. We're about 3.5 hours from Memphis, so it was a short, quick ride, especially compared to everything else we just done.
Yeah.
And got home, cleaned out the truck, and then got ready to go to work Monday. I think we rolled in on like a Friday night or Saturday.
Yeah, I was into the trip real quick, real good.
That was our 2 weeks, 2-week travel in 2016.
Yeah. We need to keep that up.
Yeah. And then we did a 2-week road trip in 2017. We went west, or not west, excuse me, we went east and north. And then 2018 we did Hawaii. And that was a whole thing.
And then 2019 we went
2019 we didn't really do we didn't plan on doing a together trip because we had our own individual massive trips planned.
Yeah.
Logan the AT, and then my original plan was Source to Seal, Mississippi, and that got had to get canned.
Botched. And
then my backup plan got botched. And then my backups plan is what I ended up trying to do, and we'll get into that later. But then we also ended up doing a bunch of little small trips together in 2019 that were very unplanned.
But you know,
it was a lot of fun. We did Texas, we did Colorado, we did Boundary Waters.
Yeah, we've done a lot. But 2016, that was our road trip. All the way through.
Yeah. And then now that it's 2020, we got to see what we can manage to work into this year.
We'll see.